seen another hit piece here by Mr. Joe O'Shea. He wrote it yesterday. I was kind of inspired to do a little poem on it. And people ask me, are these words my own? I tell you, most of the words are my own, but I do get a little help from online sources with it. But most of the words are my own. So here's a little side poem I wrote before I get into this video. It's called The Turncoat Tongue of the Cork B.E.O. Okay? Oh, once we fought with sword and song to cast out rule that did us wrong, but now a softer hand takes hold, wrapped not in chains but euro gold. The Cork B.E.O. with polished face now serves a new and foreign place. No redcoats boot, no Saxon drum, but Brussels tongues have made them dumb. They mock the Gael with every page, and spit on patriots in a cage. With snide dispatch and crooked pen, they slay the truth and slander men. No faith, no fire, no faith, native voice, just shills who dance to foreign choice. Their masters dream of lands made bare, where strangers flood, but none shall care. They write to drown the island flame, to smear the soul and change the name, to break the bond of kin and creed, and plant a rootless foreign seed. So curse the ink that cloaks a knife, and sells away our nation's life. Let every Gael with heart still stout cry whose land and cast them out. So yeah, a little side poem for that. But there's an event organised, a peaceful assembly organised for Cork City on the 7th of June. I'm going to try my best to get down to this one because I fear it's going to be as big as the one. I don't fear, but I can see it being as big as the one that we had in Dublin. So here's their little write-up that they made, right? This Mr. John O'Shea. Fears for trouble in Cork City as Conor McGregor's supporters plan anti-immigrant demo. What a headline, what a headline. Remember, they still think it's this easy to, label everybody as a Conor McGregor supporter. This is enough. They see this as enough to keep the masses on their side. Should just throw Conor McGregor's name in there. And even better, say it's Conor McGregor supporters. And throw in an anti-immigrant demo as well while you're at it, And then the way they put it, patriots in, quotations, like Dublin organisers calling on patriots to converge on Cork. Anyways, this is the one in Dublin. This is the one I was at there. When was it? Was it 2 weeks ago? Nearly 2 weeks ago. Yeah. The same loose coalition of anti-immigrant activists and far-right agitators behind the recent protest march on O'Connell Street in Dublin, backed by ex-MMA fighter Conor McGregor, are now planning a similar day of action in Cork City. Several prominent faces at the anti-immigrant coalition in Dublin are promoting a protest against corrupt government. Well, hang on. So they're saying here, with all of this anti-immigrant malarkey, he starts off by saying that, and then he jumps straight into, oh no, sure, it's a protest against anti-government corruption. So which is it, Joe? Which is it? See, it's mixed messages again, people. I keep telling you this. This is one of their big, major tools that they use or try and use on us is mixed messages. The whole point of the first page here is saying anti-immigrant, and then he jumps to, actually, you know what? It's a protest against corrupt government. Huh? In Cork City on the afternoon of June 7th, one organiser claims to have the backing of one person claims to have the backing of Conor McGregor for this event and is urging Dubliners to travel to Cork on this day, saying this is going to be massive. This demo will clash with the weekly pro-Palestine marches, which also start on the Grand Parade. So, like, the pro-Palestinian marches are all right, you know. Palestine for the Palestinians, that's great. Second, you mention Ireland for the Irish. No, we can't be having that's a negative. That's a negative, you know. Mixed messages once again. They're full of mixed messages, these people. It's unclear yet if the Dublin-based organisers will team up with more local activists for the day out, but there will be fears of confrontation and possible violence in the city centre. In September 2023, so he's after jumping back 3 years now to find something, yeah? One man was arrested after action by the far-right agitators targeting Cork City Library saw two men from the group. Now look at the way they put it in red, look. You know, you could say, oh, well, it's turned into a link, so it automatically turns red. No, they get to choose what colour, and they're choosing red for it to make their point. Red is danger, Will Robinson, you know, in red. That's why they put it in red. From a group, drag a wheelchair user out of his chair and pull him to the ground. Garda had to encircle the disabled man and help him away for medical assistance. Now, I'm nearly sure this chap that off the top of my head, I can't think of an incident where I could think of one, but the chap was a nationalist and he was dragged out of his wheelchair by these pro-pan Arab heads, you know? So they're using a nationalist being dragged out, but not saying he's a nationalist. They're just saying because he's disabled, you know? They're using him because he was disabled, but they're not saying what side this disabled man was on, because that's the only one I can think of, right? The library had been forced to close in July 2023 as far-right. How many times have they said far-right? Far-right activists repeatedly targeted staff there. Cork City Council took the decision to protect the staff and library users after several instances of aggression. The Lord Mayor, Kieran McCarthy, was also confronted by aggressive anti-immigrant protesters in 2023. He came up with a novel way to deal with them. Okay. Shall we have a look at that novel way that he dealt with them? Here he is. Here he is himself. So this is a novel way of dealing with anti-immigrant far-right people, okay?
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going Cork's way. Oh, what a beautiful day. Some enchanted evening. You may see a stranger. You may see a stranger across a crowded room.
Lads, this is the Lord Mayor's answer.
Can I start again?
You can go all over again if you want.
Oh, what a beautiful morning.
Continue, Lord Mayor. Lord Mayor, we demand answers.
I kind of get why he's trying to put like a funny spin on it. But like you stop after like the first chorus, you don't sing the whole bloody song, do you? Do you know what I mean? That's a narcissist. That's what that is. That's a narcissist trait right there. But he gets even better, this fella.
Why are you lying about us?
Oh, did he just take a member of the public's phone and throw it? The Lord Mayor of Cork at the time just took because he was being confronted on saying that these people, the reason why the library was shut down was because people were being aggressive. Nobody was being aggressive. Ross literally walks in. I've uploaded the video and you've seen it. He literally walks in, and when he walks into the library, they're all in there with their rainbow. They've all these rainbow umbrellas, you know. And go look at my video on that on Ross Levine, right?
Oh, fuck, man. Whoa. Who's that, man? I got a bed to a fucking phone there. A fucking crack of a phone in the fucking head, man.
Right, buddy.
Yeah, I got a crack.
And when he threw the phone, he hit someone in the head with it. You know? So apparently, this is Cork B.E.O. He came up with a novel way to deal with them. So that's a novel way. So if Cork B.E.O. thinks it's all right to take a member of the public's phone and throw it, also hitting someone in the head with that phone, you know? I don't know. Anyway, let's continue. There are also concerns that the planned demo in Cork City on June the 7th could draw anti-immigrant figures from loyalist paramilitary circles in Belfast. At the Dublin protest in late April, that was backed by Conor McGregor. They keep dropping his name in just for good measure. UVF figure and convicted armed bank robber Mark Sinclair was amongst a number of the men from the UVF and other loyalist paramilitary groups showing solidarity with those wrapping themselves in the Irish tricolour. In the past, members of the group Coolock Says No, "You up there, Coolock!" will always say no. He's never getting any unvetted men into our area. Never. Have been pictured at loyalist-led marches in Belfast. This led to one of the many splits in the anti-immigrant and far-right groups operating in Ireland. It didn't. It didn't split anything. Do you know the only thing that people felt that it might have split opinion was because of the past with the English. We all know it. We all know the past with the English, right? But there's still that little niggling thing that if you put a tricolour beside an English flag, then you're the enemy. When if people just took a step back and seen that both England and Ireland are being flooded with unvetted males from Africa and the Middle East, that's the thing the people are uniting over. It's literally the only thing that is forcing these two, Ireland and England, to somewhat link in together is the unvetted males from Africa and the Middle East. But of course, these people are going to throw everything at them and just say, just say they're loyalist supporters, you know? Just say they're standing with these, you know, what are they doing up there? Standing with the, what do they call the English? There's a group over here that are throwing this word around. The butcher's something. The butcher's apron. That's what they're calling the English flag. The butcher's apron. We know about the past between England and Ireland. We know what happened. Hell, that's why 97% of Ireland currently speaks English and not Irish. Only 3%. We know this. But there's a bigger fucking issue going on here. And that's the unvetted males from Africa and the Middle East. That's what you need to focus on, people. This is a message to all those people who are saying what Cork B.E.O say here and say, members of Coolock Says No have been pictured with loyalist marches in Belfast. Who gives a fuck what Cork B.E.O think? You know, we're looking at the bigger picture here. We don't want Air Ireland being replaced. Yeah. After the recent march in Dublin, which was attended by several thousand, there was at least 80,000 people there. A well-known Celtic supporters club in Dublin say that the pub in the city centre where they were celebrating the Hoops title-winning game was attacked by over 50 thugs who had been at the... Now, how did they know that these 50 individuals were at the How do they know? Are they screening everyone? And then they go and look at the footage outside the pub and go, oh yeah, there's one there, he was at there, look, put him side by side, that's him, he was at that. You know what I mean? That does not make sense. For all we know, this could be a complete setup, this attack on the Celtic Football Club. Could be a complete setup for all we know. According to the Padraig Celtics football, whatever, estimated 35 to 50 individuals who had participated. There we go. Twice within two paragraphs, they say the 35. Now it's gone down to 35. Oh, full of shite, this paper, I swear to God. There's better ways we can spend our money than funding newspapers like this Cork B.E.O. Public transport between Dublin and Cork is expected to get extra security around June the 7th, and a larger counter demonstration involving several groups in Cork City is already being planned. But you see, they can only set up a protest against us if we set one up. So they're only reacted to us. So they're not really, you know, this is the paid NGO crowd. The ones that are all, you know, they think a man can be a woman and all this sort of stuff. But they also march for Palestine. You know, they're really confused bunch of people. Wonder if they're going to pin them in. Wonder if the guards are going to stick a big wall around them of steel fences and protect them like they're the good guys, you know, protect these 200, 300 people. Anyways, should the demonstration in Cork go ahead? Oh, it's going ahead, don't worry. We are likely to see significant Garda policing operation in response, along the lines of the strong presence seen at the counter-protests in Dublin recently. The Garda spokesman told Cork B.E.O. that it is their policy not to comment on remarks made by third parties. However, Garda shit in the corner fully respects the constitutional rights of citizens to assemble in public, provided such actions remain within the bounds of statutory law. The spokesperson went on to say, Ireland operates as a constitutional democracy. Listen, folks, if people out there still think we live in a democracy, they're living in fucking La La Land. Honest to God, you're living in La La Land. So all them elections are rigged, ensuring that citizens have the right. It's not the Irish people, just citizens. So anyone and everyone can turn up. So you could have all the Mohammeds there, you know, turning up at the counter protests. And we gather peacefully in accordance with statutory provisions. To oversee public gatherings, Garda shit in the corner implements appropriate and proportionate policy measures, ensuring that citizens can exercise their rights while maintaining public order. Any Garda response to involving events follows a community policing model, employing a graduated approach that considers relevant legislation. So when they say that, Garda follow a community policing model. You know, when the Garda turned up outside Coolock, they were the ones that instigated everything. They were the ones that start pepper spraying people who are just peacefully assembling and standing there, you know? So is that part of Garda community policing model? To turn up and pepper spray children and old people? So yeah, there's my little piece on Cork B.E.O. I hope you've enjoyed the poem as well.